Welcome to the era of Valiant Smashers and how this set's going to curve stomp the metagame. Well, look at that. Robbie's here to hype up a garbage side set, as many people are going to comment down below. So, of course, make sure you guys smash the ever-living crap out of that subscribe button, as I somewhere deep in here have infinite of it. Maybe it's underneath the concrete floor that we have infinite of this new Valiant side set that has Centurion on it. So, what are we expecting in terms of metagame? Because I'm sure you've already watched the top decks video for this set, or for this format, and you're like, well, Robbie mentioned Centurion is an automatic top 10 competitor. Well, that's really cool. What makes this deck actually, worth it? Well, here's the thing. It's all about the King Calamity. It's all about that Calamity. Oh, not that negate. Oh, no. Yeah, that's all it is. When you make an entire deck that is able to make these level 12 synchros with super ease, by the way, nobody cares, all right? Like, you snap your fingers, oh, there's a level 12 synchro that's suddenly drawing them a card and getting them a spot removal option. Okay, well, that's not a problem. The real issue here is the fact that they can do synchro summons during the opponent's turn, which then means that suddenly there's a Crimson Dragon involved in this situation. And we all know when the Crimson Dragon's involved, there's going to be some sort of degeneracy coming across the room here, which means King Calamity is going to come on down here and make it so that you can't play the game. That is, I've just given you the entire new meta. All right, well, what happened to the books, Robbie? Book of Moons were existing in the format. What if I bring in some Cosmic Cyclones to stop the field spell from, getting the chance to resolve? These are valid cards, but we're in a Diabellstar meta right now, which means that if you're bringing in cards like these to, slow down the meta, you're sacrificing something else that would assist you with the rest of the meta, and it's kind of something that you're going to have to kind of ask yourself here. Do I have the dedicated space to be loosening up out here for this matchup, or am I just going to lose to Ignorant Turbo? Now, one of the biggest things I can tell you about this deck is our dear friends the Bysteals help out massively with this matchup. Being able to take care of the Dark Monster from the graveyard, so good. They also don't have Bonfire yet to search for the Fire one, which means that the consistency of this package is going to be down a little bit. Now, the real problem here begins when the TCG learns that you'll be able to play the Horus package in here. Because the minute that you kind of start to look around here and you're like, wait a minute, Horus. Suddenly, now they have these level 8 bodies that they can literally throw at you. Hoppy and Imseti, and then, the Blessing, and, of course, Doomeldef as well. All little things. One level 8 plus a level 4, suddenly you're at that big level 12 synchro threshold, and that's where more of our problem begins. And then, of course, you've got the Naturia version as well. I don't know if the TCG is going to necessarily explore the option tree of that build, because, we do have Sacred Tree limited to 1, but I think it is definitely something that we could see. The problem with this is, the core of the deck is just Calamity, laugh at your opponent. You roll that thing across, and then you do your thing. All right, your opponent just kind of chokes out, and that's it. That's all you need to do. It is that simple. All right, and I have to put it high up on the metagame because it's just that stupid to deal with. All right, if you thought the modern era Yu-Gi-Oh in a nutshell was, you kind of got to work for, some of these climbing up aspects. Yes, you typically do. But when your entire deck is just, level 12 synchro, field spell, synchro up, put them in the spell and trap card zone. Now your opponent's kind of looking at you with these different option trees, and they're like, "Huh, what's going on here?" Then all of a sudden, on the next turn, you're like, "Oh, Crimson Dragon, effect, go ahead and Calamity Lock." You can tell I've got some crazy, crazy, crazy war stories from playtesting against this deck because it's just that annoying at the end of it all. So I think you do have something to worry about with the set. If you're planning on wanting to pick up some of the higher rarity stuff, it's probably going to cost you a little bit. Or the set could just be an absolute fail. I mean, who knows at this point in time? I mean, obviously the Centurion cards are the thing that does hold it together. I mean, you've also got Memento in the set, which I do think that on the very early stages is going to be a little bit scary of a deck. Because, some of those trap cards interacting with like the skill drain and being able to punish the opponent for them destroying one of the wrong ones, yeah, that can really ruin some of the experience for the opponent. Like, honestly, I think that Memento is obviously, next to what Centurion can do, Memento is the deck of the set that you're just like, where did this 5k beat stick come from? And it's just like, okay. And then, of course, you've got Valmonica, which is probably going to be an absolute fail, as it is. Like, it's cool, the things that Valmonica wants to do. I saw the OCG trying to splash it in some different packages very early on, but that has long since stopped. All right, so in terms of what we're expecting with this set, I do think on the very, very, very early stages of this, that Centurion is going to enter into the meta is a very scary deck. And like I said, I mean, a lot of the things that you have to counter it do kind of revolve around things that might not necessarily work best in the meta. And of course, if you're one of the people that's looking to play Centurion, I mean, the biggest things that you got to pick up for the deck to make sure that you're good to go, obviously having a King Calamity, the level 12 Cosmic Blazar Dragon, a Crimson Dragon as well. I mean, you need to be able to have the extra deck cards to toggle through, but really, in terms of additional pickups, almost everything is going to be available in the set. It's just, what spicy level 12 dragons, how many Cosmic Blazar Dragons do I want to play? How many King Calamities do I want to play? Do I feel that I'm going to need multiple versions, or how many Crimson Dragons am I going to go through? Believe it or not, a lot of these builds I've seen have played 1 to 2 Crimson Dragons. Realistically, if your opponent does stop your Crimson Dragon, you're probably losing, so you're not going to have much of a reason to really need to. But for whatever reason, if you think that you're going to get into this grind game for whatever's going on out here, I do highly recommend that you do prepare for that. Honestly, double Crimson Dragon, double King Calamity, the double Cosmic Blazar would probably be your solid pickups. And if you're aiming to stop the deck, have those books ready. The Book of Eclipses, the Cosmic Cyclones, and any sort of, denial option. Also, I mean, if you want to stop just playing some Synchro Denial cards, D-Barrier is a classic out here. All right, now you just got to make sure that, when Mr. Crimson Dragon does come down, you do have the out to this. Trust me, I can't be any more straightforward than just saying, hey, this deck is just pure ignorance. All right, yes, there are choke points for it, but when it gets going and it just goes, dragon, what do you do? And I mean, this does lead to the question of, will this deck probably get King Calamity banned? Probably. It is definitely written in the stars that they want King Calamity to be used with this deck. Why else would you make level 12s that can make the Crimson Dragon and then beam this out? Because, I mean, you're not making the Cosmic Blazar interaction all that time. Alright, if you take King Calamity away, the deck kind of falls to the wayside and kind of crumbles. But, for now, if you want to be that guy, or that duelist, or that duelette, you have the immediate option to pick this stuff up. Please don't be that duelist that Calamity locks, or you're doing your part to help get the card banned. that's okay. That's how you justify playing the broken cards. You're just helping do your part. Alright? If Konami doesn't want to ban it, you're going to keep playing it until they eventually ban it. That's how I sees it. Make sure you guys leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. I'll see your beautiful faces back at the end day, guys. Peace.
Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.